So Nintendo's finally learned a lesson and learned that if there's a high demand for a product, they need to manufacture that amount, not just make so many and then have them sold out everywhere. This is a new story I'm going to be talking about because Nintendo has just announced they are ramping up production to 2 million units a month, which is easy. That is like a horseshit ton of fucking consoles. 2 million they're manufacturing a month. 2 million's a lot of consoles. And I'm glad Nintendo's finally doing this, because if you know about the N64, the Wii, that mini NES Classic what Nintendo bring out, all of them had issues in the first couple of years of launching, like with the N64 didn't, but the Wii, I've heard that in the first couple of years that launched, they were very hard to get out of because they're selling out and people could not get their hands on them, which is a pretty big, because they did sell well. They sold about 150 million units sold. So Nintendo sold a bit really well with the Wii, but they didn't produce enough to meet demand at the time. That's why they're selling out everywhere. And the same's happening with Nintendo Switch at the moment, because if you have noticed, when this is for, I'm in UK, so when I go into Game UK, it's they're always sold out the Nintendo Switch, because Nintendo has always made a thing, and they don't do it intentionally, they just don't manufacture enough to meet demand. It's whether they've got, I don't know, it's either they've got issues with the manufacturer themselves, or they just don't expect it selling that well, and then when it sells that well, they can't produce enough to meet demand. But now, because with how well the Switch is doing, with the Switch Nintendo's made a ton of good decisions, but now with Nintendo Switch, they're ramping up production to make sure they can meet demand, because for the last couple of months they've been selling out like mad, and people can't get their hands on them because they're selling out that quick. And we all know about the NES Classic fiasco, where they literally came out and sold out instantly, and then no one could get them for like 5 months, and people were selling them for like $1,000 or five. I think someone was selling one on eBay for $700 when they're like 50 quid, like $50, I think they're like $50-$80 mini consoles. And the NES Classic was a pretty good console, but Nintendo did the same thing. They did not think they're going to sell that many, and they could not produce enough to meet demand. And then there were people making a ton of money off them, because people were chucking them on eBay and making about 10 times what they were worth. Some people even making 20 times what they were worth, because people were that desperate to get an NES Classic. Because they were pretty cool. They're like the mini NES from like just classic. They look nice, but they were so hard to get out of. And Nintendo could have made a fuck ton more money if they'd have produced enough. If they could have produced enough to meet demand, they could have raked the money in. And I think that's why they're doing this with the Nintendo Switch now. Because the Nintendo Switch, it's been selling out everywhere for the last, it hasn't been out for a year, but for the last couple of months, it has been selling out everywhere I've been. They have sold out everywhere. They're shifting like fucking mad. You cannot get your hands on them. So now Nintendo, they've actually learnt for once. Nintendo normally repeats the same mistakes, but this time they've actually learnt. Even though it took the N64, the Wii, the Nintendo NES Classic, it took them 3 consoles to learn, but now they've finally learnt. If there's a high demand for them, manufacture as many as fucking possible. They may have gone over the top by manufacturing 2 million a month, but at least there won't be a shortage anymore. And they're saying the main reason for ramping up production is because there's shortages in like Europe and the States and stuff. Like there's not enough consoles there to meet demand, but they said the main areas where they're selling out and they can't get them back in stock is mainly Asia. They're selling the Nintendo Switch is selling that well in Asia, that they're selling out, and they can't demand that they can't even get them in Japan at the minute because they've sold out in Japan as well. Most of Asia they've sold out in most of Asia. That's why they're trying to produce enough so they can get Asia, because the States is meant to be doing okay with them now. You can go and get them, they're back in stock in the States now. And in Europe, I've seen in like Game UK, because I'm in UK, I've seen them coming back in stock there, so they're getting well. But because that many people love them, it's popular in Asia and globe really, but Asia seems to be like the concentrated demand, and they're selling out like mad there, and they can't meet demand, so they're having to boost production to meet demand in Asia, and they have plans on bringing it out in China, which that's a big market. If they can bring out the Nintendo Switch in China, that's a pretty big market, and it will expand the market a lot. But they're having to work with another company to release it in China, because China's censorship rules and they don't like certain stuff. They don't like certain stuff. There's a lot of they don't like certain products. They have to alter stuff on them to make it friendly to their country, in other words. So in 2018, they say the Switch is out everywhere now, but they're saying this company, I forgot the name of it, it's in China, but there's this company in China that is planning, that is working with Nintendo at the moment to bring the Nintendo Switch to China, but in 2018. It's not going to be this year, unfortunately, for you people. I don't know why I'm saying for all you people in China, because YouTube's blocked in China, so they can't even see this, but oh well, fuck it. But people in China will be able to enjoy the Nintendo Switch in 2018 when they finally bring it to the Chinese market. So I think that'll be really amazing when they bring it to the Chinese market, because look, China's population is like, I think it's 1.3 billion people. So that's a pretty big market to be getting into. So I think Nintendo will significantly benefit on this. And Nintendo's sales goals for 2017 is at 20 million shipped. Not sold, but shipped. But I think they'll meet that goal pretty easy. 20 million shipped, I think they'll meet that goal. If they're boosting production up to 2 million a month, I think they'll easily meet the ship. They'll not meet sold. I don't think they'll sell 20 million this year, but I think they'll ship 20 million this year. I think that's just ship them and have them in stores, which boosting up to 2 million production a month, that should stop all this stuff we're selling out. Because when you think about it, I've seen another YouTuber make the same point as well. The same point is that when they sell out, like let's say you go, like a parent's going to but do like a game store for Christmas, because it's coming up to Christmas now in a couple of months. And let's say they go to the game shop and the kids loves Nintendo stuff, and they go to the shop and they think, oh fuck, Nintendo Switch not stolen out, what the fuck, why man? Sold out. And then if the parent goes there and think, oh fuck, the Nintendo Switch has been sold out, oh I can't get my kid this, oh but they want something for Christmas and they wanted a game console. So then they'll look at the competitor and think, there's a PlayStation here that's the same price. So then the parents, or more than likely, go for an actual, like an Xbox One or a PS4, because they are the same price. Near enough. They're both $350 if you go for the normal. I think the Xbox One's actually cheaper than that now, but let's just say you go for a PS4 Pro, that's $350, or you go for the older Xbox One S. They are all near enough in the same price range. And that's the thing, Nintendo, you will lose fucking business if you cannot supply demand and they want to get a kid like a game console for Christmas. They're going to go to competition, aren't they? And then, who knows, if that kid's only young, kids normally attach with something or get an attachment with a brand and stick with that brand. So they could like Nintendo, but then if they get an Xbox or PlayStation, they could grow up with PlayStation and then stick with PlayStation throughout all their life. So then Nintendo, that's it. You've lost a customer, and if you'd have had enough demand, you could have had a customer for life. But that's why I think they're ramping up production, because they want to make sure they meet production enough. So one, they can sell enough to make a shit ton of money, because I know they will do. And two, as well as making a shit ton of money from it, they will want to make sure that when people go to shops, they can buy that. They don't stray to the competition, because that's something Nintendo really doesn't want. I'm not saying Nintendo and Microsoft looked at that deal, so I don't think Nintendo and Microsoft and other game companies are against each other, but they obviously want them to go for their console, don't they? To be fair, they're not gonna want them to go for the competitors, are they? But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smack that like button. If you like this type of content, let me know in the comments below, and thank you very much for watching.